Hey girls, grab your rose toy and your hot Cheetos. No, I'm just joking. Today we're going to be talking about the hot mess that is Ash Trevino, the proud, self-proclaimed inmate hopper, worst mom on TikTok, and the absolute grimiest bitch on the internet. Honestly, I think it's about time she gets roasted, savagely. So let's get into it, shall we? So we're gonna break down her latest questionable moves. First things first, let's talk about the interview, Ash's most recent disaster slash PR nightmare. This crazy bitch thought it would be a great idea to bring her underage daughters to the Bop House for an interview with a freaking OnlyFans model. So yeah, you heard that right. Let that marinate for a bit. The goal was, I think, to maybe clear her name, but I think we all know that this is just like her clout chasing again to just keep her name in the spotlight for a little bit longer, you know? Okay, right from the jump, Ash hits us with this gem while she was talking in the interview. She said quite defensively, "I've raised my daughters since they were born." Like, what is that? Like, that is such an odd thing to say. That is such an odd flex. I should not have to explain why, but it says a lot about how she views herself as a mom, you know? My take is that Ash Trevino is a classic narc mom who is chronically single and consistently chooses men over her children. It's tragic, but also pretty fascinating to see and study them in the wild in their natural habitat. So Ash has been dragging those poor kids into the nastiest corners of the internet for years. She's basically a trashier version of like a mommy blogger who basically uses her kids as props for her content at the expense of their online privacy, their digital footprint, and even their safety. So in 2025, it's pretty embarrassing to be posting your kids online for views. Not only is it out of style, it's dangerous. She's literally exposing them to creeps and predators online, and that's a huge violation of their privacy and safety. And you can tell her kids are uncomfortable. You can literally see it in their body language during these interviews that they do not want to be there. But Ash, if you notice, she is positively glowing. Like, our girl is eating up that attention like it's her last meal. She's out here in the Bop House with no pants on, looking like an entire Mike Wazowski, feeling herself. Like, seriously, where are your pants? And why are you dressed like that in front of your kids? Ew! Like, it is such my, it's like my pet peeve. People who wear like very revealing or sexy or suggestive clothing in front of their family members. Like, why is that necessary? I mean, the outfit itself, I guess, isn't terribly offensive. It's just like her whole vibe. Also, can we talk about how she got completely schooled by a 22-year-old? Like, imagine being 36, and that's a hard 36, by the way, ladies. Let's all, like, always wear sunscreen. But anyways, imagine being 36 and getting checked by someone who was barely, like, born when you were already an adult. Like, that is just embarrassing. Like, just wow. The fact that this OnlyFans model, her name's Camilla, the fact that she has more of a moral compass than Ash is pretty telling. I also want to focus specifically on Ash's strings of toxic relationships in this video. So, okay, don't even get me started on how much of a pick-me Ash is. Like, she is so desperate for attention, and especially male attention and male validation. Ash Trevino has a pattern of going after younger men, and she seems to have an actual fetish for men in prison. And I am not being dramatic. There is an actual paraphilia called hybristophilia. I hope I'm saying that right. It's very disturbing, and it explains why some women are obsessed with getting men who are not just in jail for petty crimes, but men who are like legitimate killers. It's basically a Delulu situation type deal. We've seen this with inmates such as like Chris Watts, the man who murdered his entire family. I think there were women who were also like in love with Ted Bundy, like a serial killer and serial rapist. Like, the list goes on and on and on. It's a very disturbing phenomenon. And I'm not talking about just any criminals, but her recent exes had some very serious charges involving violence against women, violence against children, and even SA allegations. So it's like, sis, where are your priorities? You'll bail out a dude who's been in jail with the money, you earn e-begging, yet your kids don't even have a bed to sleep on. You will cook for your man, but not your kids. You will bring your young daughters around men who have SA allegations. Your daughters are out here sleeping on air mattresses while you're flexing designer bags. It's especially troubling when you look at the impact that this could have on her children. By choosing to be involved with men with criminal past, she is exposing her kids to potentially harmful situations. Obviously, the wildest thing is that she is not ashamed or secretive about any of this. The fact that she is on her second marriage to a violent offender and openly brings them around her daughters, honestly, in my opinion, that is enough for me to say that her kids need to be taken away from her. They're not safe around her, period. Like, she's taken them to bop houses, she's taking them to prison, to meet their stepdad. Like, what is this insanity? I also want to touch on Ash Trevino's very inappropriate public behavior in front of her daughters. I mean, let's be real. I think she makes everybody uncomfortable, not just her kids. Ash is routinely on the internet making dirty jokes, singing inappropriate songs about her nunu and the way her nunu smells, and talking about her whole sex life in front of her kids like it's no big deal, like she's just talking about the weather. Okay, for example, she's been on live streams where she's been charging her adult toys in plain view of her kids, and she's letting her kids touch the rose toy, unbeknownst to them, and she thinks it's hilarious. And I'm just so creeped out, I don't even want to talk about that. There was also one incident where she was on live stream, off camera, but on live, if that makes sense. And she was using her rose toy, okay, let's move on. To Ash, it's just another adorable quirk in her life. In my view, nobody should be talking about their sex life like that in front of their children. In front of children, let alone if those are your own kids. And for those who don't see a problem with it, I'm guessing your parents were probably doing the exact same thing, or maybe you yourself are doing that. And maybe you just, that's all you know. However, let me put something into perspective for you. Imagine if a father, was doing the exact same things that Ash does around her kids. Imagine if a man was just charging sex toys in front of his kids and using them while on live stream and talking about his sex life in front of his daughters, making dirty jokes and singing sexually charged explicit lyrics in front of his kids. We would classify that as disgusting and predatory behavior, wouldn't we? But for Ash, she seems to think it's hilarious. It's so cute. It's so quirky. My take is that once you are a mother, sorry not sorry, but you are not allowed to express your sexuality publicly in front of your kids ever. Even Camilla, the OF girl who interviewed them, said that she might not even have kids at all for this exact reason. 1, you're embarrassing them and making them uncomfortable. 2, they are kids and you would be a creep for knowingly doing that as a man. 3, you're exposing them to thirsty men, predators, and PDF files. And 4, you're making them a target for bullies online and IRL. In my view, Ash Trevino is a typical narcissistic mother who displays some pretty obvious traits of jealousy and competitiveness with her daughters. That all ties into why she acts like a teenager herself, trying to be more of a competitor or frenemy to her daughters than an actual mother. Women who do this are often chasing youth and are very insecure about aging and are not interested in adulting or being responsible in general. Ash has openly admitted to being jealous of her daughter, at least at one point. She said that when her daughter was young, she was jealous that her ex, I guess her daughter's father, was loved her like a normal father should love their daughter, and she was jealous. She actually admitted to being jealous that her daughter was getting love from her dad. And that's pretty telling. She saw no issue with publicly stating that, yeah, I was actually jealous of my daughter when she was a little kid because of how much love and attention she was getting. And she even admitted to, abusing her daughter, physically abusing her daughter for no other reason than jealousy. And that, my friends, is truly devastating. My heart just really goes out to that girl. The daughter did say that in the interview with Camilla, the daughter did deny that, and she did say that my mom is not jealous of me, I'm her daughter, blah, blah, blah. But like, you can't deny it. Your mom already said it. It's on video. It's out there on the internet. Like, she admitted it. So what's the point of denying it? And of course you're gonna deny it. Like, no young teenage girl even has the ability to even understand something as complex as a mother being jealous of her daughter. So there's no way she even understands what she's saying. So I just want to discredit that right now. Ash Trevino's midlife crisis and jealousy of her daughter had reached an all-time peak when she famously, quote unquote, stole her daughter's online crush, Santos. Which that I believe was an innocent schoolgirl crush. Santos also recently appeared as a guest at the same Bop House, podcast, looking very embarrassed and ashamed, I might add. He, of course, came out and publicly denounced his association with Ash. Nobody's surprised by that.
It does not smell well. You can ask Santos.
I mean, imagine how that feels for her daughter, your own mom, who's 36 years old, going after your 19-year-old crush like that. And of course, Ash claims that she didn't know he was 19, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Of course, she's not going to admit to knowing that he was 19 years old, although I'm pretty sure she has no issues dating a 19-year-old. So yeah, imagine your 36-year-old mother goes after your 19-year-old crush, and then you have to listen to her talking about having sex with him and doing nasty stuff with him on public live stream. Like, that is so messed up and toxic and abusive on so many levels. Like, that is not even a mother-daughter relationship at that point. It almost seems like these young girls are being parentified at such a young age. They seem more mature sometimes than their own mother. And I think what her mother really wants to say, Ash that is, I think what she's really trying to express with all these shenanigans is that, look at me, I still got it, I'm still young and fun, I'm still hot, I'm not a sexless motherly caretaker, I am a sexually liberated woman. And for the aforementioned reasons, you cannot do that as a mother. Your sexual life needs to be private, sorry. So there you have it. It's important to remember that as women, we have to be so selective about who we allow into our lives, and more importantly, the lives of our children if we have any. In general, we need to set boundaries and make decisions that reflect our worth and protect our peace. The beauty of social media is that people like Ash Trevino are finally being held accountable and are being made an example of. So what do you think? What's your take on Ash Trevino, and where do you see her career going? Please like and subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget, you are an entitled princess and the main character. Bye!